Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Monmouth County. My name is Virginia Adair, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. I serve as Senior VP of our board. Whoever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. Our mission is to create community, transform ourselves, and transform the world. I draw your attention to the backside of your orders of service for announcements and service information for next week. For those on the live stream and for video viewers, the order of service link is available to you in the YouTube service description box. Molly will be coming up here to give some additional information.
Special announcement. So it's Pledge Sunday, and so it means pledge pancakes. So you are all welcome after the service to come and get some pancakes. It's all free. It's all gratis. They're whole grain pancakes. They're all vegan. There is a gluten-free version, which are not vegan. And there is the syrup and the fruit sauce that goes on the pancakes is on the table. And there are some things of sugar-free syrup for those who need it. So once you pick up your pancakes and maybe some spread, vegan spread if you want it, then head to the table for your syrup and your fruit sauce. We want to keep the line going. We don't get clogged up. All right? And hope you all can pledge a little extra this year. Thanks.
Another announcement is the UUCMC Ukulele Orchestra is having a beginner's session at 7:30 p.m. on Monday, March 24th, here in the Earth Room. All are welcome and no experience is necessary. They will teach you how to play. They have a number of ukes they can provide if you do not have one. If you want your own, you can buy a serviceable uke for $23 on Amazon. See David Fischel or Joe Grazziti if you have any questions. After the service, refreshments will be served in the community room, and people of all ages are welcome to visit with one another. If you are new to us, please do check out our website, UUCMC.org, where you can sign up to get all the latest news of the congregation by email. We look forward to getting to know you better. Please put your devices on silent as we enter into worship together. Welcome again to this place of love and hope.
I'm the Reverend Dr. Craig Rubano, and it's good to be back from doing this congregation's social justice work in Mexico. More on that later in the sermon. In these days of extra evening daylight, as the green pushes up from the ground, how wonderful it is to celebrate this beloved congregation by engaging our theme for the month of March, trust. For this place, literally the grounds, the building, the staff, the programming, this place is entrusted to us. And today we begin the process of making it possible for UUCMC to thrive, to build on our successes for another year. Our fiscal years begin on July 1st, ending on June 30th. So it is that in the environs of March each year, we set in motion our promises to one another to support this institution once again with our time, with our talent, and yes, with our treasure. Most of you will have received in the snail mail a gorgeous brochure along with a letter and a commitment form. If you didn't receive these, they are green commitment forms on both sides in the back of the earth room, and brochures are out on the foyer table. Special thanks always go to our congressional, what's on my mind, things that are on my mind slipping out. Special thanks always go to our congregational administrator, Maggie Reardon, for taking the text of our values and our goals along with our theme and designing something memorable and beautiful in the form of this brochure to sustain us throughout the coming year. I think you will agree that the brochure captures so much of what it means to be UUCMC, along with what it will take to continue our mission and vision for ourselves and the world. A congregation like ours, owned by its members, not the beneficiary of any ecclesial hierarchy, government endowment, or organizational grant, functions on trust. We trust that the importance of living our values with one another and in the world will allow our members and friends to fund the transformational communal project that is the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Monmouth County. And when what is happening outside our walls is in such direct contrast with many of our values, we come together to be the change we seek with increased urgency, passion, and always love. Given these realities, our chosen theme for the upcoming fiscal year gives us our marching orders, centered in love, living our values. And so for the next 4 weeks, we will hear from one another on the importance this place has in our lives, even as we attempt to soak up some of the hope of the season. A program note: because of today's stewardship celebration, I moved this year's nod to the Jewish festival of Purim to next Sunday, because I think, especially this year, the story of Queen Esther's resistance to the dark forces of hate and violence has much to recommend to us. And back by popular request, along with the season of spring, will be storytelling finger puppets. That's next week. Oh, yeah. Sorry, one of those stink bugs is interested in the commitment form. This morning's call to worship, with the word worship understood in its original meaning of a shaping concern for all that is of worth, comes to us from the Reverend Gretchen Haley, one of the ministers serving the Foothills Unitarian Church in Fort Collins, Colorado, who reminds us that our mere gathering is always already an act of trust in one another. It is an act of faith. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck with these questions on repeat. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news and analysis, Facebook memes and forwarded emails. As if the new zodiac were capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way. As if we could prepare. As if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we thought. As if we are not always also actors in this still unfolding story. For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know, the yearning to have it all already figured out, and also the burden of believing we either have all the control or none. Here, in our song and our silence, in our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root. That is courage, forged in the fire of our coming together and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith, that we believe still a new world is possible, that we are creating it already, here and now. It is our tradition in this Unitarian Universalist faith movement to place a flame in a ceremonial cup, to set alight a chalice, as a perpetual reminder not only that it is our gathering that makes this place holy, but that we need one another. Each of our internal sparks requires the ongoing rekindling that community gives. And on this day that we look forward to a new year in the life of this congregation, there surely can be no better person to light our chalice this morning than our founding member, Lee Rossback, along with Mercedes this morning. Lee, always a pleasure to have you here. Our founding 69 years ago, so 101, is that right, Lee? Yes. 101, okay, looking good for 101. Our chalice lighting words were written by Chad Snyder, who after a lifetime of being UU took up the challenge of ministerial training, and this year he's serving as ministerial intern at the Minnesota Valley UU Fellowship in Bloomington, Minnesota. These are Chad's words. We truly know far less than we think we do. But let us know this much. We are not alone in our joy, in our loss, in our quiet, daily, blessedly ordinary moments. We are not alone. A small truth, maybe, in a vast and rapid world, but let us hold that truth and trust it, even as we hold and trust the joys, the sorrows, and the moments shared in this space. We make holy. Thank you, Lee. I direct your attention to our music director, Michael Rosen.
Good morning, Good morning, everyone. We will be singing Building a New Way. However, the number that is printed in your bulletin is incorrect. It is not 1023, it's 1017, 1017. Title is right, but the number is 1017. Or, of course, you could look at the screens. Please stand if you'd like.
Good morning. So our story today, What We'll Build, are Plans for Our Together Future by Oliver Jeffers, might be one of my favorites for this year. I say that a lot, but this one's pretty good. What shall we build, you and I? Let's gather all our tools for a start, for putting together and taking apart. Let's build a door where there was none. We'll build a house to be our home. I'll build your future, and you'll build mine. We'll build a watch to keep our time. We'll build some love to set aside and build a hole where we can hide. A fortress to keep our enemies out and higher walls for when they shout. But you don't always lose, and you don't always win. So we'll build a gate to let them in. We'll build a table to drink our tea and say, I'm sorry, me too, me three. We'll build a tower to watch the sky and other worlds that pass us by. Let's build a tunnel to anywhere. Let's build a road up to the moon. Let's build a comfy place to rest, for we'll be tired soon. Let's build a boat that can't be broken, that will not sink or be cracked open. A place to stay when all is lost, to keep the things we love the most. We'll put these, oh no. I missed a slide. What we're going to do is we're going to put these favorite things beside the earlier love we set aside. I think that we may want them later, when times are hard and needs are greater. But first things first, let's build a fire, for we've planned a lot, and now we're tired. I'll keep us warm like when we're born, then we'll say goodnight as all's all right. These are the things we'll build, you and I. What We'll Build is a story about a father and daughter planning for their future together, a future with boundless love and life's endless opportunities. But I can't help but see it as a story about a community like ours, a multi-generational community where we honor the inherent dignity and worth of all people of all ages. This is a place where we can come together to learn, grow, and discover what it means to live our best lives and to be our best selves, and to practice our values. Each of us has something to contribute to the whole. I was talking recently to a young adult who grew up in our faith development program here at UUCMC, and they told me that they never felt like they were treated like a child. What they meant by that was that their voice was heard and they felt seen and valued here. It is true that we cherish our children and youth, and we learn from them just as they learn from us. I'm working with another young adult right now who grew up at UUCMC. And I asked them if they would just take a few moments to reflect on their experience and how this congregation shaped them. Nash Malco said that growing up in Monmouth County, he saw that it wasn't the most welcoming place for marginalized people. It was common to hear racism and hatred for LGBTQ people. Nash said that UUCMC exposed him to a different way of seeing the world, that it fueled an ongoing pursuit of knowledge and understanding, which he said was especially important after 9/11 and the rise of Islamophobia in our area. He said that sometimes he feels like it saved him from being the kind of person who becomes entrenched in their own beliefs, like all those that were around him growing up, except for his parents and the people here at UUCMC. Nash is giving back to UUism today by serving on a committee that supports my professional development and evaluates my progress in seminary. What we'll build, what we are building, is a community shaped by love. A place where each person matters, where we create a future together with care and intention. Through our time, our presence, and generosity, we are building something lasting, a community where all of us are seen, valued, belonged, and loved. Our children and youth are going to step out for a few moments with me, and we're going to sing them out with Go Now in Peace. But we'll be back before the end of the service to share something with you. Let's sing Go Now in Peace.
During the next 3 weeks, we'll be hearing from you. Stories of how you came to this place, why it is important in your life, and why it is important for you to give your time, your talent, your treasure to keep it alive. So today I thought I'd prime the stewardship testimonial pump by asking for a word or phrase that speaks to why UUCMC matters to you. So speak loud enough so that I can repeat your word or phrase, but what comes to mind? Why is UUCMC important? Acceptance. Community. Hope. Belonging. Love back there. Music. Spirituality. Sorry. Purpose. Fellowship. Justice, and of course, individuality. Said in a very individual, special way. What else? Safety. Courage. Beauty. Home. Very nice. Inspiration. Joy. Music. Got a double helping of music there. Why not? Comfort. Support. Caring. If some of you are willing to share a little bit further your thoughts about why you give to this place of yourself and of your treasure, get in touch with me, because we'll like to have a couple of you each of the next 3 weeks. But as I think we can already see, this place means so much to us for so many reasons. And now we'll have our time of generosity.
Every week in this congregation, we are provided with an opportunity to practice generosity. This is your invitation to contribute to the well-being of our congregation and to our social justice partners through the good works of organizations which receive half of the monies collected each month. Our Share the Plate recipient for the month of March is Planned Parenthood of Northern, Central, and Southern New Jersey, the clinic closest to us being in Shrewsbury. Planned Parenthood's annual teen conference, attended by high school students from across New Jersey, offers interaction with peers, workshops on empowerment, leadership, and health, and access to resources. UUCMC member Ivan Polonsky is a past board member of our local Planned Parenthood. For those of you present here in the meeting house, the plates will be passed by the ushers. You may also join this time of generosity via text, send your offering by mail, or charge your contribution online with a memo designating an amount to Planned Parenthood. Please give generously.
Would you believe we already have a volunteer to do a testimonial? Come on up. That was fast. Denise Adonisio.
I thought I was I thought I was speaking today, and I didn't think I could get through to next week. But anyway, here I am, spurting out my brain to everybody like I usually do. So, I was an unlikely candidate to be speaking on this topic until Tom Harbison and Rick Goldberg came to our COCOM meeting and asked if any of us would be willing to be part of the Stewardship Committee. I was blindsided. Fresh minds would be welcome, they said. My hackles went up. This is not for me. I am cheap, I am thrifty, I do not support over the top. I would be able to do more with less. Get me out of here. And then, I'll do it. What? What the? And I thought about this all week. What could I eliminate or do more frugally and still love UUCMC as much as I do? Suddenly, my idea of services in a tent with one guitar and elimination of half of our projects just seemed stupid. Our meetings were thoughtful. We talked about what would be a meaningful theme and how best to convey the monetary needs of our congregation to us, the family. We brainstormed, we commiserated, we finally went, aha. So when this little beauty, this envelope with the pledge pamphlet, came in the mail last week, I smiled. And I was also quite relieved because now I was part of it and it had to get to us on Thursday. Each year before this one, I would open it, put the darn thing on my kitchen counter and glare at it till Stewardship Sunday. Now it has familiarity and a reason for being, because that darn trifold represents what it takes to make us what we are. I am a big volunteer. I convinced myself for years that volunteering would make up for giving more. But money makes the world go round. Or as my father said when he gave me monetary presents, cash is king, as he raised his eyebrows. I woke up yesterday, and before I opened my eyes, I started to assess my situation in the world. First, I thought about strength and love and how they are so separate while also so intertwined. This is a heavy topic for me these days as I navigate my position in all that is around us. But my mind shouted, I choose love. And I thought about our theme centered in love. And I realized that us, with all our talents, our personalities and priorities, are a hell of a group to support. And I am willing to speak with any one of you who isn't good with budgeting, it's one of my addictions, to possibly find a way to find more to give. Because cash is king, UUCMC is queen, and we are a wonderful bunch. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denise. Well, on this day, celebrating our generosity and dedication to our values, there can surely be nothing more centered in love and in giving of our financial treasure than the trip I took to Mexico in the past weeks, partnering for justice with our UU sibling congregation, the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of San Miguel de Allende, or UFSMA. That's what they call it, UFSMA. But as you will recall, when we were just first flexing our multi-platform live stream muscles, we had an unprecedented, in 2 countries at the same time, live worship service in which we traded back and forth musically and sermonically with UFSMA. Their pianist played to accompany our singing, and we did the same in return. Each congregation even had to meet at a different than usual time of morning so that we coincided temporally. It was a triumph of technology, but also an elegant joining of 2 UU bodies with a theme of justice partnering. of being the change across international borders. The model was so successful that a video presentation was created that screened at the General Assembly of UU congregations this past summer, in which we were the centerpiece. UFSMA's Social Justice Foundation had vetted several NGOs, from which we chose to partner first with Libros para Todos, a literacy organization that, in addition to supplementing local educational efforts with reading comprehension sessions, and its building of small libraries in villages with no books, also sponsors twice-annual Big Reads, where a text is chosen, about 1,500 copies are purchased and given to students with what is usually the very first book they have ever owned. Libros trains the teachers to teach the book, and then the author of the book visits the students in person to hear their impressions, answer their questions, and inspire their curiosity and wonder. It's an amazing organization. And on this latest trip to Guanajuato province, I traveled once more with 3 specialists and the director of Libros, and this time with my partner Ron, riding along for the adventure. There we went to a little town in the mountains with a 2-room elementary grades schoolhouse. In one of the classrooms, after getting to know one another a bit, and after it was made clear to them Ron and I were special visitors, and then startled them with my ability to speak to them in Spanish, we began to read. The picture book that was chosen was The Maleficent Underpants. The Maleficent Underpants. Yeah, a charming story about a rabbit overcoming their childhood fears, and which had all sorts of plays on words. A challenge for me when it was my turn to read, as I wanted not to be struggling to say things like una emergencia calzoncillesca, or an underpant-esque emergency. After reading, we discussed our fears, and we created drawings that incorporated them with drawings of our very own magical undergarments. I didn't write the book or pick it, but afterwards we were invited to join them in their lunchroom for a meal of soy protein and vegetable tostadas. Libros is well aware of UUCMC and the ongoing generosity of you all that is enhancing its projects. Indeed, an entire library in a local village was created from this congregation's donations alone. This year, we added another NGO to our fundraising efforts, one dedicating to providing villages with drinkable water in an area where, on top of foreign national agriculture companies exhausting the aquifer water supplies, dangerous chemicals have leached into the well systems. Caminos de Agua, or waterways, loosely translated, about which I gave an entire service earlier this year, is an extraordinary group that combines grassroots organizing with water purification and rain catchment systems. UUCMC raised just under $3,000 for Caminos. Its founder and leader, who has become a friend to me, wrote this: "Craig, this is truly incredible. Your congregation's donations will be able to provide 3 entire families with a lifetime of clean drinking water through our rainwater harvesting program, or about 55 families with safe drinking for 3 years with our water filters. Thank you, and UUCMC, so much for all you do." In the most recent newsletter to all of his international supporters, he writes, "Recently I had the opportunity to visit the community of San Pedro, alongside representatives of UUCMC, a new partner of Caminos de Agua. The resilience of the people of San Pedro, facing extreme water challenges on top of economic and social hardships, is difficult to put into words. The village has never had a municipal well or other regular water source. Despite years of advocacy and the fact that access to water is a constitutional right in Mexico, their pleas have gone unanswered. Here, every drop is a struggle. During the rainy seasons, residents collect water from pocitos, small hand-dug pools fed by a nearby stream. But after heavy rain, the water turns black and red, carrying waste, garbage, even dead animals. When the dry season arrives, the stream disappears entirely. Families travel long distances to ask for water from nearby villages, risking tensions with these communities, many of which are facing their own water shortages. With no reliable source, San Pedro residents turned to makeshift rainwater harvesting system, buckets, barrels, any container they could find. But even in years with good rainfall, these homemade systems lack proper filtration, leaving residents vulnerable to illness. Last year, the community began to organize, and together, we started building a process to create more consistent access to safe water in the community. Camino de Agua's community team began providing an extensive educational program and helped the community evaluate their options. After nearly 20 workshops for the community, covering topics, regional water issues, water quality, children's health, rainwater harvesting, system design, they began a more in-depth technical training, and from there worked on securing funds and organizing in work groups to begin building the rainwater systems together. Dylan, the founder, says he's thrilled to announce that thanks to your support, we were able to build 25 rainwater harvesting systems with participating families in this community. On the day we traveled to San Pedro, these families proudly showed us the systems that they built with Camino's help, with your help. The success of the intervention was evident in the enthusiasm of the villagers, and it was a joy to feel part of this extraordinary effort. We're in there somewhere. I don't know, I'm wearing a hat. Ron's there next to me, also wearing a hat. And there's the founder, just to the right of Ron, as you look at it. And it was worth celebrating, this collaboration. San Pedro and a neighboring town got together to put on a huge luncheon for us, served under tarps, protecting us from the powerful sun at 7,000-foot elevation. Unbelievably, we ran into people on the road that we started to pick up because they were just walking up and down for miles with no shade, carrying bags of food to prepare and to serve to us at this luncheon. Then we later drove them back so they wouldn't have to walk that far. The smiles on the faces of one family who now have hope for their baby's life is all I needed to see to know that when we put our generosity in action, amazing things can happen as a result. It's no different for us here in this country than it is for the social justice connections we make internationally. This is our community. We all create the magic that occurs both here and outside these walls, and the members make decisions that govern the stewardship of what we have created and maintained and grown over many decades. Of course, your time and talent are crucial, but inescapably central is your treasure. There's no top-down money coming to us from the government or the UUA. We do have some rental income, but the members and friends of this congregation are the source of 84% of every dollar we spend. And as we all know, the price of everything is going up. I feel like sometimes there's a reticence to speak about the bare bones fact of life, that UUCMC cannot be UUCMC without money. But just as with our time and talent, perhaps more easily associated with love, money is a precious way to show love, to articulate and live values, modeling the use of money as a means of transformation and growth, both physically and spiritually. When we use money to express our humanity, the result is healing in our worlds and in ourselves. Our highest commitments to life, to the earth, to our fellow beings can be harnessed to the way that we spend our money. But sometimes we need to heal ourselves first because, in the words of activist and fundraiser Lynn Twist, We all have an identifiable, though largely unconscious and unexamined relationship with money that shapes our experience of life and our deepest feelings about ourselves and others. So often money has been felt as dictating decisions and often laced with hard memories of its strictures, of scarcity, rather than being the medium for expressing joy and freedom and living into sufficiency. Yet the truth is, no matter the quantity of money available to us at any given time in our lives, money is always potentially an ally in our searches for meaning. In Twist's language, money can be a companion to the work of our souls when we align our money decisions with our core values and highest commitments. The result are dramatic shifts not only in what we do with our money, but also in how we feel about money, about our lives. We come to know ourselves not for what we have had or own, but what we give. Not about how much we accumulate, but for how we allocate. Ultimately, money is just a means. If we shift our interpretation of it, we give ourselves opportunities for discovery and personal transformation. Our lives can so easily be constrained by the lies of scarcity. That we don't have enough, that there isn't enough, that we aren't enough. And if not controlled, the mantra of not enough becomes a justification for unfulfilled lives. It becomes the reason for why we can't have what we want or be who we want to be. Seen through a lens of scarcity, through a constricting money culture that suggests everything can be bought, we look outside ourselves for meaning. That's not enough. More is better. That's just the way it is. Those become toxic myths that breed fear, competitiveness, and resignation. Instead, Twist urges we become free when we live into the truths of sufficiency. Sufficiency, she writes, isn't an amount at all. It's an experience, a context we generate, a declaration, a knowing that there is enough, that we are enough. Sufficiency resides inside each one of us, and we can call it forward. It is a consciousness, an attention, an intentional choosing of the way we think about our circumstances. In our relationship with money, sufficiency is using money in a way that expresses our integrity, using it in a way that expresses value rather than determining value. It is a way to be centered in love, living our values. If we center our experience of money in gratitude and appreciation in love, we experience the bounty of the relationships we share, community, caring for one another, ensuring that all have a voice. The territory of sufficiency is always available to us if we pledge ourselves to that vision. We become true stewards of our bounty, rather than seekers and gatherers of money. When we stop to appreciate what we have, when we make a difference with what we have expands, as do we all. We can change our mindsets about money not by avoiding talking about it, but by consciously using it to express and live our values, supplying enough but not to excess, supporting others in our communities, empowering our creativity and self-expression, purchasing products whose companies reflect our values, expressing our integrity in the proper support of our staff here at UUCMC. One last quote from Lynn Twist. In our conversations informed by scarcity, we judge, compare, criticize, we label winners and losers, we celebrate increasing quantity and excess, we center ourselves in yearning, expectation, and dissatisfaction. We let money define us. In our conversations informed by sufficiency, we acknowledge what is, appreciate its value, and envision how to make a difference with it. We celebrate quality over quantity. We center ourselves in integrity, possibility, and resourcefulness. We define our money with our energy and intention. The examples with which I started with the effects of our money in Mexico are instructive. For in a context where the dollar goes a long way, we are able to see more clearly, perhaps, just how tied to our values our money can be. On our way to UUCMC's 70th anniversary in 2026, with our time, talent, and with our treasure, we will have enough to honor our staff, build new relationships with community partners, and use our vision and mission to live out our values, to be the change in the world. We can and will be centered in love. This coming fiscal year is an exciting time in the life of this congregation, and I am so pleased to be a part of the unfolding of who UUCMC is to be. I thank you again for all the support you gave so that my trip to Mexico could be as life-changing for me and certainly for others as it was. I see that Michelle and our younger people are back with us, so I invite them forward to center ourselves even further in love.
The young people are not far behind. I remember the day when people used to say I was the young people. So I want to tell you about what we did on the first day of family ministry and small groups this year. I initiated a discussion with our children and youth about love at the center and what it means for our actions and our decisions to be guided by love. And then following that conversation, I presented them each with a heart stone as a reminder. You'll get a closer view of these heart stones in just a moment. These stones, they're called worry stones, and they're a tool for meditation. And I invited the youth that day to place it in the palm of their hand, or to use it to the smooth, to run it across their fingers. Anytime that they were feeling like they needed to be grounded and centered in love. Maybe it was a hard decision that they're making, or maybe they just had a tough day because it's tough growing up. And so they've been carrying these stones. This morning I heard that they still have these stones. And in just a moment, we're going to call the youth forward. Actually, right now, we're going to call the youth forward, and I'm going to invite them to come up and down the aisles and to pass out stones to you. There's a lot of different colors and types. Don't take too long picking your stone. But pick a stone, and in just a moment, we're going to come on up forward, and just a moment, we're going to use that stone for a meditation. Okay, you can tickle and you can start on that side and just take it. You can start on this side.
And now, entering into a time of prayer and meditation, I ask that everyone hold that stone in your hands and center yourselves in love as we share words written by our colleague and friend, the Reverend David Miller, Senior Minister of the UU Congregation of Fairfax, Virginia. His words he titled, into Love. Live into love.
Today, in UU congregations all over the world, people will gather in an effort to live into, as best we can, what we profess about placing love at the center of all we do.
What a magnificent challenge. We are currently living in times baiting us not to love. The social and political atmosphere in which we travel insidiously tempts us to find fault, place blame, point fingers, and increase that which can tear us apart. And yet we practice a faith, often imperfectly, because, after all, we are human, but we continue to practice a faith where we are called to answer the question, what is the most loving thing I can do right now?
What an astounding challenge. What an unbelievable, vital attempt. What an incredibly needed beacon for the future of us all. So as we support each other in living this mission, may the light of our flaming chalice breathe life and love into every one of our congregations, and into those who, by the very nature of this calling, have this great and wonderful opportunity to live into love in these days filled with so many struggles and so much possibility.
In the coming days, weeks, months, hold on to your stone. Meditate on what loving actions you can take that day, that week, that year. May we be centered in love as together we move forward in the world, living our values. May it be so. Amen.
My name is Priscilla, and I am chair of the Finance and Administration Committee.
And I'm Sarah Fischel, Vice President for Staff Resources on our Board of Governance.
So we know that UUCMC means so much to you, and that you feel committed to being a part of the next year in its storied history as a congregation.
Our stewardship campaign starts today and runs through April 6th. This is where we pledge or promise an amount of money to run our operations and to pay our staff. Our goal for this coming fiscal year, beginning July 1st, is $420,000, up by 9% from this current year. We hope that you will be able to increase your pledge this coming year to help meet this goal.
Now, how much should you pledge? How often should you pledge? These are answers are in our brochure you received this week in the mail. There are more copies in the hallway. I personally, I divide my yearly pledge by 10 and donate monthly July through May, when UUCMC is most active.
We'd like for you to complete your commitment form, which is the green form, today. Please raise your hand if you do not have your form, and the ushers will bring one to you. Completing the commitment form either today or later, in paper or online, checks you off our list and earns you the gratitude of the whole congregation and the gratitude of the stewardship committee, who is in charge of doing follow-ups.
So if you have any questions, speak to me after this service or in the community room today or over the next few weeks. So please take a moment now to reflect on the importance of UUCMC and the UU values in your life and in our world today. Thank you. When you've completed your form, please bring it forward and place it in the Wonder Box. And Michael will accompany us with music as you come up the center aisle and then return by the side aisles. Thank you.
We thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for your gifts. I invite us to rise in body and our spirit to sing our closing hymn. I urge you to follow along with the slides rather than attempt to sing with the hymnal, but you do as you do. We'll do some repeats but not others, but it should be clear. And if the memory of Harry Belafonte singing a certain word with the Muppets has been in your head, we now no longer say that word, and I won't even say it out loud because apparently, unbeknownst to Belafonte, it was a slur word in Jamaican patois. So now we just say ah, and as you will see on the slide. But just if you're wondering, what happened to that other word? It's gone. We come from the fire, living in the fire. Go back to the fire, turn the world around. We come from the water, living in the water. Go back to the water, turn the world around. We come from the mountain, living on the mountain. Go back to the mountain, turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. So is life. Whoa, so is life. So is life. Do you know who I am? Do I know who you are? See we one another clearly. Do we know who we are? Whoa, so is life. So is life. Whoa, so is life. So is life. Water make the river wash the mountain. Fire make the sunlight turn the world around. Heart is of the river, body is the mountain, spirit is the sunlight, turn the world around. We are of the spirit, truly of the spirit, only can the spirit turn the world around. Whoa, so is life. So is life. Whoa, so is life. So is life. You may be able to, yes, good job. You can remain standing if you like. Our closing words of benediction, The Way It is by poet and pacifist William Stafford. He explores the concept of finding and holding on to a guiding thread of meaning and purpose amidst the inevitable changes and challenges of life. And in the context of our theme for fiscal year 25-26, may our guiding thread be love, that as we continue living our values, we remain centered in love. These are the words of William Stafford. There's a thread you follow. It goes among the things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it is hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen, people get hurt or die, and you suffer and get old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. A very happy St. Patrick's Day to all who celebrate. My family's dinner is this evening at my parents'. May we go in peace, centered in love, living our values in a world that so desperately needs them. But first, a congregational photo. So, Paul Newland, as he has for many years, will take the photos. Please wait for a moment or two and get into the center two sections. No empty seats. We will take the photo as soon as Paul's got it set up and we get into the thing. He will be here taking a picture of us sitting there in these two sections. No, nothing on the sides. So get into the middle section. Oh, good, nobody's here?
So thank you all for being here. It's going to take me about another 2 minutes to get set up, and then we will take the photograph.
Do you want people to stand?
I think that we will have the people in the front row sit. Well, last year when we did it, we had people in the front row sit and people further behind stood. But, you know, if everybody sat, the nice thing about standing for the people in back is gives a little bit more energy to the photo. Whereas if people are seated, they're seated, you know. So that'd be my suggestion. But that would be good, I think, to fill that in.
All right.
But we're about 2 or 3 minutes away.
All right, we're getting ready. Thank you for your patience. We'll use this photo all year long. You'll be very happy we did it.
I think we just have that slide over. There we go. I'm sorry? No, I think that's okay. So I'm just going to take a test shot, double check the exposure, double check the focus. Bear with me for just a moment. got most of this set up before the service. And I appreciate everyone's patience. I know it's a little bit like watching somebody else thread a needle. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, when I started doing photography, I was counseled by many people, never count for your subject. I think one-on-one, that makes a lot of sense. In a group, I think counting really helps. So what I'm going to suggest is, last time we did this, we had some people who blinked. And so I'm going to give a 4 count. I'm going to push the button on 4. And what I'd suggest is, on 1, you close your eyes. On 2, you open them. On 3, think about your expression. And boom, 4, we're going to shoot the photo. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that if you can't see my lens, the lens can't see you. So if you don't have a clear view of the lens, I would suggest maybe you just move a little bit, tap the person on the in front of you on the shoulder, and just say, can you move 2 inches to the left or the right? Okay, so here we go. We're going to try a couple shots. I'm going to take about 6, and halfway through I'm going to stop probably on the 3rd one. I'm going to check the focus and check the exposure, and I'll do it again on the 6th, and then I'll hopefully give everybody the double thumbs up at the end. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me give a quick check. Just make sure everything's looking good. Oh, that looks nice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And check it again. Things still look great. Double thumbs up. Thank you, everyone.
Yay! It's pancake time! Pancake time! Woo! Thank you so much, Paul.